Reesce. Reesce was my best friend. She was my protector. She was my confidant. She was the person that I experimented with in growing up. She was the person that when my mom said, don't do something, we get to looking at each other, get a little nod in our head, and then we had our own way of doing what we wanted to do. What I miss most about Reesce is coming home, picking up the telephone and saying, girl, let me tell you what happened to me today. Let me tell you who I saw. She was probably the first person I called when I got in the house, just to see how her day was and see what she was doing and where she was going to. I miss that older sister protection that she gave me when I was growing up. I miss the opportunity for her to see her first grandchild born and see how her 3 children developed and grew into adults. I miss having an opportunity to travel with her and shop with her. Of course, that's always a thing that sisters do, because that's what we did well together, was shopping and getting in trouble because we kept my mom and dad busy growing up. See? So I miss doing sister things with my sister. I miss the holidays with her and birthdays and
Reesce, that was my firstborn, Reesce, and I can tell you about when I first got pregnant, scared to death because I was 14, and I tell you, I said to my husband, who's my husband now, which was my boyfriend, you know I'm pregnant, and he said, good, we're gonna get married. And so that was the key. We always talked about getting married, so that was a definite then. So my mother says, you're not getting married, you're too young. But anyway, not listening, we did get married, and then here come Reesce. And loved her to death. Oh, she was I tell you, the joy of our life. Even though I was young, I had support from my mother, my grandmother, my husband's family. Oh, we was just overjoyed when she came. Okay? And when she came, let me tell you one thing about that Reesce. She was a fireball from day one. Then I had Marvita, so they was Teresa and Marvita. So that was like one big ball of fire with 2 kids, looking the same, acting alike, but Teresa was the runner. She ran Marvita. Did she run her? Everything that Teresa did, Marvita wanted to do. Reesce was something else. Loved her sisters, loved her family, loved her mother. She was just a joy to have in our life. What I miss most is that she was really a kind and caring person. And when she had her kids, she was caring and a loving mother. She thought her kids was everything. They were going to be stars, they was going to be successful. So she always amped them up like that, you know. Darnell was going to be an actor. Danielle she always made her like a little priss, cute, and Danny was just the apple. He couldn't do no wrong because he had these fat cheeks, and she would just kiss him all the time. Mom, look at them fat cheeks. I said, yeah, I said, that boy's going to be a mess when he grow up because he's going to be rotten. He ain't going to be no good. You know, no, Mom, don't say that about him because he was a big old crybaby, Danny was, because he was rotten. And so I miss how she would come down Temple Road, and before you seen her, you would hear her. She'd be hollering, Mom, Mom, and my husband would say, I know it's that Teresa that hollering down the street with that big mouth. I said, yeah, she up the street, she coming down, her and the kids. He said, oh Lord, you can hear her before you see her. And I had a friend, he said, you know, Bob, you know what I miss about your daughter? He said, I was on the subway trying to read the paper, and she spotted me and she hollered way from the other end of the subway train. I see you, Rob K. Don't be trying to hide from me. He said, that girl, he said, I just bust out and started laughing. He said, I missed that girl's mouth. I said, so everybody, she was loving, she was caring, and she was funny as she could be. Loved her sister too. That was another thing. She was a great protector. Cherish every moment, because you don't know the next minute, second, hour that your daughter or son not going to be here. Because if somebody would have told me that I would be sitting here doing this, I would say, not me, because I couldn't imagine losing my child. It's backwards that a parent outlived their children. So cherish every day, sad times together, good times together, talk together, share things together, share a meal, share the simplest thing, conversation on the phone, and don't put off, you know what, I will call you tomorrow. No, If you have them on your mind, you call them while you're thinking about them. Nowadays, we can leave a message. Leave that message, because you don't know how precious little things like that are until you lose somebody that you love. Just to hear their voice. So cherish the time that you have with your children, your family, period. We're living in a times that is really critical, and no more reading about other people. It's actually happening in our families.
Tell you about Reesce. Reesce was my oldest sister / older brother. And I say that because I learned things from my sister. Actually, all my sisters that I would have learned from a brother. Reesce. So I would get punched in the chest, just like I would have gotten punched in the chest from an older brother. I got hugged from my sister the way I would have gotten hugged from a sister. To hear her come into a room, like it could be dead silence, so you're just talking or watching a movie, and then you would know when Reesce was there, because you would hear her coming down the block, from speaking to the neighbors to laughing to talking to Darnell maybe, but you would hear her, and she was just a pleasure to be around. And I mean, I'm not saying just because anybody would say that about their family members, but my sister was a pleasure to know. Very giving, very protective of us, and funny. I mean, just gut funny sometimes. I can't even put everything into this amount of time video. I can go on and on. At the family reunions and Sydney and dinner, and visiting her house, spending time with her and Darnell and Danielle, growing up, just watching her as a parent, being at my grandmother's house to eat, just hearing her voice, was just like, wow. I miss that so much. What do I miss most about Reesce? Hearing her voice. That is the most frightening thing that I hope never goes away, is that I can hear her voice, because I miss her voice. Like I said, her coming into the house, her coming down the street if I'm playing football with my friends. I miss her voice. I miss her doodling. I'm a doodler. My sister Rochelle is a doodler. And Reesce was a doodler, and I remember she would make this flower with just 2 leaves with a flower. She would write her name, and I found myself doing the exact same thing a lot. But I miss the most about my sister is her voice. Just hearing her talk. And sometimes I would have my moments. I would close my eyes and I would remember her coming in the house and being loud. And I would say to myself, God, why she gotta be so loud? But I miss her being loud. I wouldn't say, oh, here she go. She's so loud. She loud when she talk, but my mom is loud when she talk. My sister's loud when she talk. Even my wife, who doesn't even know my wife, is loud when she talk. Maybe it's a black sister thing. I don't know. But my sister was so loud, and I appreciate her loudness now because I remember it, and I still can hear her as if it was yesterday. And I think more than anything, I miss her voice, just the sound and the tone of her voice. So like I said, when I have my moments, I'll close my eyes and I will picture her coming in the house, letting everybody know she's there. Sometimes looking at Darnell, I would just think about, gosh, he is just so much like his mom, because when he walks into the room, he lights up the room, like you know he's there. And growing up, I hated it. I hated that he had to be seen and not heard, but I've learned to love it because it's a reflection of my sister. It's something that she's always done, and I miss that more than anything. I would give anything just to hear her voice. I wish I would have recorded it. I mean, now my dad, my sisters, my mom, even close friends, they'll call and they'll leave messages on my answer machine, and I'll save them because I want to start a journal of the messages I get on my answer machine, just to be able to hear that person's voice. So that's what I miss the most. I miss her voice.